I've had a number of iterations of tarot journals over the years, from writing in my daily planner to whole big study notebooks to beautiful, aesthetically pleasing things. But I think with this, for now at least, I might have cracked it. Hello, welcome back to Sapling Tarot. My name is Imogen, and today we're talking about tarot journals. When you start learning tarot, one of the most frequent pieces of advice is to write everything down. Every reading you do, every card pull you do, make a note of it. There are 78 cards in a deck, more in some. It's worth having something to refer to rather than having to rely on your memory. This is where I have landed in spring 2025. This is a customised Atoma journal, which is a system you may recognise if you watched my commonplace book. It is a Belgian notebook system that I am returning to after a number of years, inspired by Sylvie over at Terry Magpie's Happy Planners, which are so delightful and gorgeous and pretty, but slightly outside of my budget. So I thought I would cobble something together that was kind of a similar concept. So what I've done is I've kind of Frankensteined what is essentially a binder. I've made these covers, as you can see, badly, with paper craft and stuff, using old wrapping paper, etc. On the, what do you even call these, dividers. And what I've got is I've got essentially like a baby tarot commonplace at the beginning, drawn me margins in. I even printed out some little tarot card stickers for myself, just for a little bit of visual interest. These are from the Numinous Tarot, which is a deck I don't have, but have always wanted, and recently realised that I don't think it's possible to get it in the UK anymore. So this is my little nod to a beautifully queer deck, which has, I think, maybe my favourite lovers card of all time here in miniature. So yes, I've got this kind of commonplace situation at the front, which, as you can see, hasn't had an awful lot written in it yet because I've only just made this. I've separated it into the majors, the courts, and then the minors. I've then got any kind of additional tarot studies. So like, I am a patron over at Sylvie's Patreon. Sylvie runs these tarot labs, so I've got my notes from the elemental study, printing out all the lovely handouts that Sylvie has made. I also did I suppose this wasn't even really tarot, but I did a workshop with Kellyanne Maddox, so my notes from that have been popped in here. I've got some tarot spreads from Waltz and Cunning, one of my favourite herbalism tarot teachers. I've got the reversals lab from last month, including some of my own notes from like different books that I have and what they have to say about reversals. And then we're into Marseille for May, which is very exciting. I do highly recommend you check out Sylvie's Patreon. I also want to pop in here the handouts from Tegan over at Animals and Arcana, previously Cosmic Creepers Tube. So I have all my lovely pals and teachers' work in here. And I made a little pocket, because what is a journal without a pocket? And again, I've got all of Sylvie's little tarot zines, which are available on their Etsy shop. Love this little quartet of goodies. Really, really good for if I'm feeling stuck. Then also, Sylvie makes tarot spreads every month, and I've been sticking them all together and making a little book of them for myself. And then I've also got this from Little Red Tarot, this little deck interview spread card, which I think has been tucked into every tarot journal I've ever had. I don't even really do deck interviews anymore, but it makes me happy. But it makes me happy to have it. Then I've got a little tarot project thing I'm working on. I've got my own personal tarot readings, and then I actually did one this morning that I haven't written up. And then I've got my client readings in the back there to keep them all together, but I won't show you those. So this is it. I've just like stuck it all together. It's kind of big and chunky and kind of scrappy. I guess it's kind of almost more like a tarot scrapbook at this point, which I'm finding quite satisfying at the moment. Just got this bit of elastic to hold it together. Yeah, so I am really loving this. I thought I'd talk about like some of the things that I'm carrying over from previous tarot journals, because what I had before, which you will have seen if you've been on my channel before, was this notebook with these amazing stickers that I started Aries season 2024. Again, got some cute stickers. I'll need to kind of migrate some of these over into the new one. But so what this kind of became is essentially like an everything notebook. So there's a lot of tarot, but then there's also, I've been doing an astrology diploma, it's there's like legal observer training and know your rights training. There's like therapy stuff, there's moons, there's like, I've been working on kind of an oracle project thing. But yeah, so there's so many notes from so many different things. There's tarot tags, there's another Kellyanne Maddock workshop, which was fantastic. Yeah, so there's no sense of order, and as much as I have done like page numbers and an index, it's just not my favourite. I also don't love this paper. It is Tomo River paper, so it's really lovely and smooth, and it has that like crackle thing that people like. I really hate that even when I write in pencil, you can see through it, and so it never really feels like you have a totally fresh page. So yeah, so I don't love that. So what I'm carrying over from this is I'm putting tarot tags in a separate notebook that I keep for like YouTubey bits. So I've got like a list and then where I've actually written them all out. I think the reason that they were in my tarot journal was because pre-channel I used to just do them in my journal. So I wasn't making videos, I wasn't sharing them with anyone. So I never needed to refer back to them in order to like film a video or whatever. So yeah, so I've moved those into my, well, it's kind of mostly just like YouTube notebook. In terms of like other study, I have just been using this, like this is my study notebook. It was just like a shitty cheap, oh it's actually not, it was like £2, but it's really nice paper. It's like some kind of sister brand of paper blanks, and I got them really cheap. They're really nice. It's also a really gorgeous kind of old goldy bronze colour, which I love. So that's where that's gone. And then tarot readings have gone into the back of the tarot journal, but also tarot notes from books and even YouTube videos and things, they are all going in the kind of commonplacey bit. So hopefully this will make it easier to navigate now that because I talk about my tarot practice more rather than it just being entirely personal and for me, and just staying like, it doesn't really matter if it's really scrappy or whatever. It's nice to have a wee bit more order. Something else, the only other tarot thing that exists outside of my tarot journals is I choose a deck per month. So last year I did this like very low level decan study every month, and then I shifted from doing monthly, like calendar monthly decks into zodiac season decks because it was easier to tie them thematically. Sometimes I just do them randomly, but otherwise I like doing them thematically, and so I've kept doing that. I've slightly upped my creative journaling game since last year. So this was fairly simple. We've gone all out on the decorations, but we're still keeping the decks. We've got my stuff from my like year ahead reading, and yeah, I've got more into, so I've still got some kind of tarot theming. I've been doing like a little beginning of the season elemental spread. Yeah, I've been really enjoying it. This frustrates me deeply. Oh my god. But I really like this. Getting more into sort of artsy journaling. But yeah, this is the only other bit of tarot stuff, and that lives in my like normal planner. Oh, actually that's not true. I've been keeping my, so this is the first time I've actually shown this on the YouTubes, the big old internet. I haven't really talked about this. So I've been doing like a year-long personal project thing that may turn into something in future, but what I've been doing is I've been doing my new moon and full moon spreads on like a double page spread, so that I can see any like recurring themes, or if things are totally different. Like there was 1 month in Aquarius season, my new moon reading was like nurture the Emperor, and then it was to release the Emperor. So like whatever that was, within a month, or like even like within 2 weeks, it was like, you're done, you did that bit. So yeah, so I have been keeping those readings separate as well. It's been an operation of kind of streamlining, separating, but then also kind of collating. Like this is, oh, it's a bit much, isn't it? I do want to do like a notebook ecosystem tour thing, because I've been really enjoying watching those. But yeah, so those are my like reflections and the current state of my tarot journaling. In terms of intentions, I'm going to keep going with choosing a deck or some decks monthly. There's no like strict structure to it, but I just keep it on my bedside table so that I can reach it. I've also been keeping track of the readings I've been doing and the deck usage, which if you saw my digital tools for tarot video, you saw my spreadsheet. And I always take a photo and keep track of what deck I'm using and stuff like that. And so I've been writing them down. This was a Mercury retrograde spread from Sylvie. This was my Aries season. I was working with Thea's tarot. I really loved it. But yeah, so I'm going to keep track of all of those things. I've been finding that not as difficult as I thought it would be. So I want to continue all of those habits from last year. As I showed you, I've been getting back into doing new and full moon readings more regularly. I have been giving myself the grace of the 2 weeks after the new moon. Anytime in that I can do a new moon reading. The 2 weeks after a full moon, anytime during those 2 weeks I can do my full moon reading. It doesn't have to be night of. And that has freed up so much brain space for it, which has been fab. I have been doing those like small readings that I showed you, which is these like kind of sort of loosely elemental ones. Something to do, something to feel, something to think about, something to plan. You know, I'm still kind of working on that. Part of my like personal project thing has been trying to not start so many projects without finishing or stopping other things, and also monotasking, so just doing one thing at once. And that has been a challenge. I have definitely started more things this year than I have finished. But I've also been doing, I've been doing pretty well with it, I think. Which is interesting because this video, I've been meaning to put this video up since January. And I hadn't actually made this journal. Well, I was just going to do like a reflections and intentions video inspired by Cassandra over at Rifflin Time. And also Ella Harrison, I think, did a witchy version of that, which was cute. But what the fun thing of me doing this 4 months into the year, so I can tell you how the intentions are going and if I've actually stuck with them. And largely, yeah. So one of my other goals was taking time to reflect on progress and achievements rather than just always moving on to the next thing. That's what we're doing here. I also made, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw this, but this is my jar of incentives, which are three different categories of activities. So there's free things to do at home, things that I have to leave the house to do, and things that cost money. And they're like my treating myself like a toddler. And if you do a thing, you get to pick a thing out the jar. I'll see if I can link that reel or whatever below. And I'm just looking at my notes that I've been making for this video, and all it has is I saw Sylvie wearing army pants and flip-flops, so I bought army pants and flip-flops, about the making my own budget happy planner. But yeah, my words of the year are like around kind of like a very loose depth year, so like depth, deepening and descent, because I've been feeling super scattered and just also a bit surface level. Hello Gemini. And I just like wanting to find a place where I feel like I'm interacting with my life in a deeper and less bitty way. It's my eternal struggle of my Scorpio rising and Gemini sun. Yeah. So, and also just final thing, decks I'd like to work with, any that I didn't work with last year. The 5th Spirit Tarot, I have a weird block about, and I want to get over that. I have a real thing about any deck that has someone wearing rollerblades, and I need to get over myself. I simply need to get over myself. I also don't think I did many or any Lenormand readings last year, and I want to take a moment with like all of my decks and figure out the ones that I feel are challenging or intimidating, or that I have some sort of sense that I can't read with them. So yeah, so I want to revisit those. The only like named deck I have on my list is the 5th Spirit Tarot, because I will get over my block with it. There is no good reason. Why don't I show you the deck? There is no good reason for me to have a block over this deck. It's perfect. I love Charlie Claire Burgess. I'm so buzzing for their new book. I love their other book. I love the game Marseille. There is no good reason that I have such a block about this deck. I mean, there are reasons. I'm not big on like modern decks. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on exactly what it is, but I will overcome. I will crack it. It'll be fine. So yeah, so this is my, what are we calling this? I don't even know. You will know more than I do. So intention setting, personal practice planning, tarot and oracle decks I want to use this year, a witch's New Year's resolution and recap. I will link all of those below. I hope you're taking really good care of yourself. I hope this was interesting. Please let me know, what are your kind of like reflections on the last year? That probably feels quite outdated, but fuck it, we can start a new year in May. Who says we can't? How, if you did have any intentions for this new year, how are they going 4 months in? We're like more than a third of the way through 2025. How's it all going? I hope you're able to be gentle with yourself around that. If you enjoyed this video, you could give it a like. You could even consider subscribing if that feels good to you. There are links below to my website and my coffee where you can book tarot readings with me, or even just leave a tip to support me and the channel. Any or all of that is greatly appreciated, but also I'm just grateful that you're here. And above all, I hope that you're able to take really good care of yourself and that you're doing okay, all things considering. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.